June 2013, early morning. A body is discovered in an industrial park, shot multiple times. Within hours, police have a suspect. Not a gang member, not a drug dealer, an NFL star. 9 days later, the New England Patriots make an announcement. One of their players is being released. Immediately. $40 million contract, terminated. Pro Bowl career, over. But investigators were about to discover something nobody expected. This wasn't an isolated incident. An athlete playing on national television every Sunday, catching touchdowns in front of millions, was living a double life. How does someone get away with this? How long had it been happening? And why didn't anyone stop him? This is Aaron Hernandez's case. Aaron Hernandez wasn't supposed to fail. He was built for football. 6'1", 245 pounds. Speed that made linebackers look slow. Hands that caught everything. Born November 6, 1989, in Bristol, Connecticut. Grew up in a working-class family. His father, Dennis, was a tough disciplinarian. Former high school quarterback. Pushed both his sons hard. Aaron excelled immediately. Dominated high school football. By his senior year, every major college program wanted him. He chose the University of Florida. Joined head coach Urban Meyer's powerhouse program in 2007. As a freshman, Hernandez caught 34 passes for 363 yards. By his sophomore year, he was a starter. 68 catches, 5 touchdowns. The Gators won the 2008 BCS National Championship. Hernandez played a key role. His junior year, 68 catches again, 5 more touchdowns, another dominant season. Then came the decision that would change everything. Hernandez declared early for the 2010 NFL Draft. Skipped his senior season. Turned pro at 20 years old. But NFL scouts had questions. Not about his talent, about his character. Failed drug tests at Florida. Associations with known criminals from his hometown. Bar fights. Altercations. A 2007 incident where police investigated him after a shooting near a Gainesville nightclub. No charges filed. Teams interviewed him. Hernandez admitted marijuana use. Downplayed everything else. Promised he'd left that life behind. On draft day, 27 teams passed on him. In the 4th round, pick 113, the New England Patriots selected Aaron Hernandez. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick had a reputation. He took players with baggage and turned them into champions. Tight discipline. No excuses. The Patriot way. Hernandez joined a team that had just been to multiple Super Bowls. Star quarterback Tom Brady. Elite tight end Rob Gronkowski. Offensive coordinator who knew how to use 2 tight end sets. Hernandez's rookie season? 45 catches. 563 yards. 6 touchdowns. Year 2? 79 catches, 910 yards, 7 touchdowns. Pro Bowl selection. August 2012. The Patriots offered Hernandez a 5-year contract extension. $40 million. $12.5 million signing bonus. The largest bonus ever given to an NFL tight end at that time. Hernandez was 23 years old. Set for life. Playing for a championship contender. Living in a gated mansion. Engaged to his high school sweetheart, Shayana Jenkins. They had a baby daughter. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But investigators would later discover that during those same years, while Hernandez was catching touchdowns and signing autographs, he was also carrying firearms, making threats, and allegedly committing violent crimes. The warning signs weren't subtle. They were everywhere. But nobody with the power to stop him was looking. July 16, 2012. Early morning, downtown Boston. Outside a nightclub called Cure. 2 men, Daniel De Abreu and Safiro Furtado, left the club and got into their silver BMW. They'd been celebrating De Abreu's 29th birthday. At a red light, another vehicle pulled alongside them. A silver Toyota 4Runner. Someone opened fire. Multiple shots through the passenger side windows. The Abreu was shot 5 times. Furtado was shot 4 times. Both men died at the scene. A third passenger in the BMW survived. Told police the shooter appeared to be Hispanic or light-skinned black, wearing a baseball cap. The case went cold. No arrests. No suspects publicly identified. 3 weeks later, August 27, 2012, Aaron Hernandez signed his $40 million contract extension with the Patriots. Nobody connected him to the double murder. Not yet. February 13, 2013, Riviera Beach, Florida, near West Palm Beach. Hernandez and a friend named Alexander Bradley traveled to Florida. Bradley was a known drug dealer from Connecticut. He'd been with Hernandez the night of the Boston double murder. According to Bradley's later testimony, the two men got into an argument at a strip club. Hernandez believed Bradley had been talking about the Boston killing. Early that morning, Hernandez allegedly shot Bradley in the face while they sat in a car, then drove to an industrial park and left him there. Bradley survived, lost his right eye. When police found him, he refused to cooperate, wouldn't name the shooter, later filed a civil lawsuit against Hernandez, but still wouldn't testify criminally. 2 months later, Hernandez was still playing for the Patriots, still living in his mansion, still appearing on NFL broadcasts. June 14, Friday night, Hernandez and Odin Lloyd attended a nightclub in Boston called Rumor. Lloyd was a 27-year-old semi-pro football player for the Boston Bandits. He was dating Shania Jenkins, Hernandez's fiancée's younger sister. Witnesses later testified that Hernandez seemed upset with Lloyd that night, stormed out of the club. Prosecutors would claim Hernandez was paranoid. Lloyd had been talking to people connected to the 2012 double murder, that Lloyd knew too much. June 16, Sunday night. Hernandez sent a text to Ernest Wallace, asking him to drive from Connecticut to Massachusetts. Wallace brought Carlos Ortiz. June 17, Monday, 2:10 a.m. Security footage shows Hernandez, Wallace, and Ortiz leaving Hernandez's home in a silver Nissan Altima. 2:33 a.m. Surveillance captures the Altima picking up Odin Lloyd from his home in Boston. 3:07 a.m. Lloyd sent his last text to his mother and sister. Quote, "Did you see who I am with?" 3:23 a.m. Workers at a nearby business heard gunshots. 3:27 a.m. Security cameras at Hernandez's home recorded the Nissan Altima returning. Hernandez exited the driver's side holding a firearm. 3:30 a.m. Hernandez entered his home. Surveillance showed him moving through rooms. Later that morning, a jogger discovered Odin Lloyd's body in an industrial park 1 mile from Hernandez's house. He'd been shot 6 times, 5 to the chest, 1 to the back. Police found a key to a rental car in Lloyd's pocket, rented by Aaron Hernandez. They found shell casings at the scene, matching ammunition inside the rental car. They found Lloyd's cell phone, text messages, timeline. Everything pointed one direction. 9 days later, June 26, 2013, police arrested Aaron Hernandez at his home, charged with first-degree murder. 90 minutes after his arrest, the New England Patriots released him. His $40 million contract, voided. His NFL career, over. His mugshot, everywhere. January 29, 2015, Fall River, Massachusetts, Superior Court, the Commonwealth versus Aaron Hernandez, first-degree murder. Prosecutors laid out their case methodically. Security footage, cell phone records, text messages, witnesses, forensic evidence. They showed Hernandez's home surveillance, him leaving with Lloyd, returning without him, holding a firearm. They showed text messages between Hernandez and his co-defendants, coordinating the pickup. They showed shell casings found at the murder scene, matching ammunition in a rental car Hernandez had used. They showed Lloyd's final texts. "Did you see who I am with? NFL." The defense argued circumstantial evidence. No murder weapon recovered, no eyewitness testimony, no confession. They claimed Hernandez couldn't have committed the murder because he showed no signs of stress afterward. Returned home. Hired a cleaning crew the next day. Acted normal. The prosecution countered. That's exactly what a calculating killer would do. For 10 weeks, testimony unfolded. Hernandez's fiancée, Shayana Jenkins, testified under immunity. Admitted she disposed of evidence at Hernandez's request. A box she retrieved from their basement and threw in a dumpster. Contents unknown. Never recovered. His cousin Tanya Singleton refused to testify. Held in contempt. Prosecutors alleged she helped hide evidence, including the murder weapon. Ernest Wallace and Carlos Ortiz, Hernandez's co-defendants, were charged separately. Ortiz eventually cooperated with prosecutors. Wallace refused. April 15, 2015. After 36 hours of deliberation over 7 days, the jury reached a verdict. Guilty. First-degree murder. Guilty on all 5 firearms charges. Mandatory sentence, life in prison without possibility of parole. Aaron Hernandez showed no emotion as the verdict was read. His fiancée wept in the gallery. Lloyd's mother cried. Judge Susan Garsh sentenced him immediately. Life without parole. Hernandez would spend the rest of his life at the Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center in Lancaster, Massachusetts. He was 25 years old. But the legal battles weren't over. Because while Hernandez sat in prison awaiting trial for Lloyd's murder, prosecutors had been building another case. The 2012 double homicide. De Abreu and Furtado. May 15, 2014. Hernandez was indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder for the Boston nightclub shooting. Prosecutors alleged the motive was petty. De Abreu had accidentally bumped into Hernandez at the club, spilled his drink, didn't apologize, so Hernandez followed him, shot him and his friend, then went on with his life. The trial began in February 2017. By then, Hernandez had already been in prison for nearly 4 years. The evidence was weaker than the Lloyd case. No surveillance of Hernandez at the scene. No cell phone records placing him there. The murder weapon, Hernandez's .38 caliber handgun, had been found in a woman's apartment, but couldn't be definitively tied to the crime. Key witness, Alexander Bradley, the man Hernandez allegedly shot in Florida. Bradley testified Hernandez had bragged about the killings, but Bradley's credibility was destroyed on cross-examination. Multiple felonies, history of lying, civil lawsuit against Hernandez. April 14, 2017. After 6 days of deliberation, the jury announced their verdict. Not guilty. Both murder counts. Guilty only of illegal possession of a firearm. Hernandez smiled, mouthed, "Thank you," to the jury. His defense attorney, Jose Baez, called it a victory. Said they'd appeal the Lloyd conviction next. 5 days later, none of it mattered. April 19, 2017. 3:05 a.m. Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center. A corrections officer conducting a routine check found Aaron Hernandez hanging from a bedsheet attached to his cell window. He jammed the door with cardboard to delay discovery. Prison staff cut him down. Attempted CPR. Rushed him to UMass Memorial Hospital in Leominster. At 4:07 a.m., Aaron Hernandez was pronounced dead. He was 27 years old. Investigators found 3 handwritten notes in his cell. One addressed to his fiancée, Shayana Jenkins. One to his daughter, Avielle. One to his attorney, Jose Baez. They found drawings of the Illuminati eye on the wall. John 3:16 written in red marker on his forehead. Illuminati scrawled in blood on the wall. The medical examiner ruled it suicide. But questions immediately arose. Why would Hernandez kill himself 5 days after being acquitted of double murder? Why would he do it knowing an appeal of the Lloyd conviction was coming? His attorney, Jose Baez, claimed Hernandez wasn't suicidal. Pointed to the acquittal. Said Hernandez was optimistic about overturning the Lloyd conviction. But prison records told a different story. Hernandez had been disciplined for threatening guards, fighting other inmates. He'd been moved to a single cell for safety, and there was another factor, one that would spark a legal firestorm. Under Massachusetts law, if a defendant dies before exhausting all appeals, their conviction can be vacated under a legal doctrine called abatement ab initio, Latin for from the beginning, meaning Hernandez's first-degree murder conviction for killing Odin Lloyd would be erased, as if it never happened, which meant his estate could collect money from the Patriots, money that had been withheld after his arrest. On May 9, 2017, a judge vacated Hernandez's conviction. Legally, he died an innocent man. Odin Lloyd's family was devastated. They'd won justice in court, then watched it disappear. But the story didn't end there. Prosecutors appealed the abatement, argued that allowing convicts to erase guilty verdicts by committing suicide sets a dangerous precedent. March 13, 2019, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruled in favor of the prosecution. Hernandez's conviction was reinstated. In the eyes of the law, Aaron Hernandez died a convicted murderer. But there was one more revelation, one that changed how people understood his entire life. September 2017, researchers at Boston University examined Hernandez's brain. They found severe chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, stage 3 out of 4. Dr. Ann McKee, one of the world's leading CTE researchers, said it was the most severe case she'd ever seen in someone Hernandez's age. CTE causes memory loss, impulsivity, aggression, depression, paranoia. Hernandez had played football since age 9. 18 years of repetitive head trauma. His family filed a lawsuit against the Patriots and the NFL, claimed they knew about CTE risks and failed to warn players. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed. The CTE findings reignited debates about football and brain injuries. But they didn't excuse the murders. They explained them. Maybe. Partially. Because plenty of players have CTE. They don't all become killers. The Aaron Hernandez case left wreckage across multiple families. Odin Lloyd's mother, Ursula Ward, still grieves her son. Attended every court hearing. Gave a victim impact statement. Said, quote, "The day I laid my son to rest, I think my heart stopped beating for a moment. I felt like I wanted to go into that hole with my son Odin." Daniel D'Abreu and Safiro Furtado's families never got justice. Hernandez was acquitted. The case remains officially unsolved. Alexander Bradley, the man who lost his eye, settled his civil lawsuit in 2016. Terms undisclosed. Shayana Jenkins stood by Hernandez through both trials. Testified for the prosecution under immunity in the Lloyd case. Visited him in prison. Their daughter Avielle was 4 years old when her father died. The New England Patriots tried to distance themselves. Removed Hernandez from team history. His locker was given away. His number retired informally. Coach Bill Belichick refused to answer questions about him. But lawsuits followed. Jenkins sued the Patriots for unpaid salary. Settled in 2017. Amount undisclosed. The NFL faced renewed scrutiny. If a player with Hernandez's violent history could reach the league, play for years, commit multiple alleged murders while active, and nobody stopped him, what did that say about the system? Universities and teams promised reforms, better background checks, mental health resources, violence prevention programs. Very little changed. In 2020, Netflix released a documentary series called Killer Inside, The Mind of Aaron Hernandez. It explored his troubled childhood, alleged abuse from his father, rumors about his sexuality that he'd hidden his entire life, the CTE diagnosis. The series humanized him, showed a complex person struggling with identity, trauma, and brain damage. But it also showed the victims, the families destroyed, the violence that couldn't be explained away. FX released another series in 2024, American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. dramatized his life and crimes. The case became a cautionary tale about talent without accountability, about institutions that protect assets instead of people, about warning signs ignored until it's too late. Aaron Hernandez had everything: championship rings, Pro Bowl selections, $40 million contract, fame, youth, opportunity, and he destroyed all of it, along with multiple lives. The question that haunts this case isn't just how he did it, it's how nobody stopped him sooner, because the warning signs were everywhere. Failed drug tests, criminal associations, police investigations, violent behavior. At every stage, high school, college, NFL, people in power had chances to intervene, to demand accountability, to choose safety over winning. They didn't, because Hernandez could catch touchdowns. And in football, that matters more than almost anything else, until it doesn't. Aaron Hernandez died in a prison cell at 27 years old, convicted of 1 murder, acquitted of 2 more, linked to at least 4 separate violent incidents across 3 states. His brain showed advanced CTE. His life showed unchecked violence. His death raised more questions than it answered. The system that built him also failed to stop him. And as long as winning matters more than accountability, the conditions that allowed this tragedy still exist. This case isn't just about one man's crimes. It's about what happens when institutions look the other way, when warning signs are dismissed, when talent shields violence. Somewhere right now, another athlete is showing those same warning signs, and somebody with the power to intervene is choosing to ignore them, because they can help win games. If you want to follow more investigations into the dark side of sports, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment with your take. Could the NFL have stopped Aaron Hernandez before it was too late? Thanks for watching. This is Foul Play.